We will discuss 6th November articles which we have left. One by one we will cover whatever pending current affairs discussion is there. Now we have left with, after this we will left with 7th and 8th. Shortly, tomorrow is Sunday and tomorrow there is no Paripurna. So tomorrow we'll try to cover, I will try to cover this 7th and 8th also. So I'll make sure definitely that no date current affairs is left behind, so that your current affairs preparation won't be stopped. Okay, so yeah, so thank you so much for those who are regularly following and trusting on this initiative. I'll make sure it continues for till you clear your exams. Okay, so these are the 7 important articles we'll discuss. We'll start with the mains article. First is the in Brazil COP30 and the moment of the truth. See, as we start every article with discussing the background. Why the question is why we discuss background. See, one thing I have identified, this current affairs lectures maybe maybe seen by those who are starting their preparation, who may not be aware about these things. Also there will be aspirants who might be aware about the background, who have already prepared for 1 year 2 year like that. So for them it will be kind of revision, and for those who are new, for them they will get to know about the background. So what is the background is that from few days, if you are regularly following our lecture, from few days we are discussing about this climate change, and because many articles are coming. Why? Because in Brazil COP30 is going to take place. So let's discuss first this article in a comprehensive manner. First we'll discuss background only, that is climate summit. Climate summit is going to be organized where? In Brazil. Okay, so let's first discuss its background. Then we'll go to the other article. Okay, see, background is that, again we'll come to the from the beginning only. The background is simple. First, see, in 1992 there was one conference which is called as the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. This was the conference organized, right? Then what happened is that under this, every year conference of parties are organized. What is conference of parties? The signatories of this convention, that is United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, its signatories meet together to discuss about what actions has to be taken to achieve the climate goals. So that is called as the conference of party. This is nothing but the highest decision making body. Okay, so in that series, COP30 is going to be the next one. And where it is going to be organized? It is going to be organized in Brazil. Okay, COP30. So this is in the news. Now in the comment box, give me the answer like the COP29, when it was where it was organized. COP29. Okay, so yeah, so that is the background of this, and you understood the context also. So what is happening now, why it is in the news, and what is there in the article? So let's understand about this article. In article, what has been given, see, there are some things being discussed in this article. One is that, see, what is happening, many COP, almost 29 COPs has been conducted, but there is a gap between the commitment and actual result. Commitment versus actual action. That is the writer is arguing that, okay, every COP we are meeting, we are committing ambitious targets that the initiative will take, but actual actions are limited, and that's why the trust over this COP is declining as per the article. So that's why he is talking about the COP in the this Brazil is going to be the COP of truth. So he has mentioned one term called as the COP of truth. Basically achieve not just the intention, so not just intention but the action, not just intention but action. Okay, this is basically writer want to say. And also he says that it is very significant because it is taking place at the heart of rain of forest. rainforest, you know, right? Amazon forest, rainforest is known as the major diverse region. Okay, now the third aspect which writer is trying to tell is that linking climate to justice and hunger. That is, climate is interlinked with justice and hunger. How? See, the climate change will impact what? Climate change is going to impact agriculture. Agriculture is going to impact food security, and food security, if food security is not there, it will cause what? Hunger. So climate is linked with the hunger. Similarly, climate change is linked with the justice. How? See, if climate change is happening, it will impact more to whom? Poor or rich? Definitely impact is going to be more on poor than the rich. So if poor are getting more impacted, it will be injustice to them because they will have to face the problem. So the point here is that the climate is linked with the justice as well as the hunger, which we understood through this diagram. The fourth aspect which writer talks about in the given article in the Hindu is that there is need of global governance reform. Global governance reform. What is global governance reform? See, what the writer is saying that there is need for the reform in United Nations Security Council. As we see that United Nations Security Council is almost paralyzed now because of the division between the US, UK, one side US, UK, France, and other side the Russia and the China. So that's why most of the decision making has been installed because of the veto and other thing. So the United Nations Security Council should be reformed. That's the point. And next is that United Nations Climate Change Council should be activated. United Nations Climate Change Council. Climate Change Council has to be activated. Okay. So these are the points which was discussed by the writer in this particular article. In conclusion, what the writer says that it is a time for action, not just the planning. It is a time of action, not just the intention, so that we begin the COP of truth. So that this is the article of the Hindu related to the climate change. Okay, let's go to the next article, that is the contempt of court. Contempt of court. Okay, see, in our constitution, some institution, the background I'm talking about, in some certain institution needs some kind of freedom, and the freedom from some certain interference by the public as well as the political parties. So especially the institution like judiciary needs to be very independent, so that they can uphold the law. If let's say there is interference in the judiciary, suppose imagine one judge is there, okay, and this judge is being threatened by some rowdies who are threatening this judge to deliver the judgment in a particular favor. So will the justice will be established? The answer is no. So in order to protect the judges and the courts from the external interference, so that they can function with the fair and the and uphold the rule of law, so for that they have to be protected from this kind of interference, and that is the reason this contempt of court concept has been evolved. That is, if anyone is contempting, that is the not following or disregarding or trying to diminish the power of court, so this court should have the power to punish such kind of activity, such kind of people or the institution. And that is called as the contempt of court, and it has been provided in our constitution as well as the law, and that we will discuss in this particular article. Before that, what is the context? The context is that recently, if you are following the news, Honorable Chief Justice of India was targeted by some lawyers and some people because of his comment in the court, and that created the issue of contempt of court. Okay, so for us what is important is this concept, that is the contempt of court. Contempt of court. Okay, See, you understood the background and other thing. First thing, what we have to remember here is that what are the provisions, and then we'll discuss other aspect. See, the first important provision is related to the constitutional provision. What is the constitution talks about the contempt of court? There are articles, important article like article 129, which gives the Supreme Court power to punish if someone is not following their orders or the contempting their power. For the High Court, similar power is written in article 215. These are the two important articles. Okay. However, to enforce it in the constitution, there is another provision which is related to in the schedule in article 246. Sorry, article 246. There are, as we know, there are three lists are there in schedule 7, article 246. Three lists are there: list 1, list 2, and list 3. In list 1, there is entry 74, entry 77, sorry, entry 77, and in list 3, entry 14. This is concurrent list and this is central list. So this contempt of court is mentioned in the entry 14 and entry 77 in third list and the first list respectively. That means the central government and the state government can make law related to actually regulate and the punish if there is the contempt of court. Okay. Similarly, there are some legal provisions. What are the legal provision? Using, as we see that the constitution provides the power to the central government and the state government to make law related to the contempt of court. To enforce that, there is there is one law called as the Contempt of Court Act 1971. Contempt of Court Act 1971. Okay. Under this act, there is the classification of the contempt of court. There are two types of contempt of court. One is called as the civil contempt. Civil contempt means disobedience of the order. Disobedience of court orders. And there is criminal contempt. Criminal contempt means if any institution or any person is trying to trying to lower the authority of any court, or basically they are interfering in the exercise or the administration of justice. Interference is there. Interference in exercise of justice. Then we will call that as the criminal contempt. Okay, so here the punishment can be very harsh also. Here punishment can be low. So these are the two types of what we can say that the contempt of court has been defined. Here the one important concept is that fair and fair versus fair criticism versus contempt. See, important question here, the two issues arises, then we'll discuss to this that part. Two important issue is there. One is that it gives the violates the fundamental right under article 19(1)(a), which is the freedom of speech and expression. That is violated because people fear that if they criticize the judges, their judgments, they will be charged under the contempt of court. The second issue is that against the principle of natural justice. Here what happens that the judges become judge of their own case. Basically they themselves decide what is contempt. So here somebody is suppose there is one person, there is another person. Okay, now this person is claiming that this is A and this person is B. A is claiming that B has hurt me. A is saying B has hurt me. Now, ideally, who should decide whether B has actually hurt A or not? Is the requirement of third person, right? There is requirement of third person C who can fairly see the case and they can decide. But in this case, what happens is that in this case, A is the court, that is the judge, and B is the other citizen, let's say. If B is contempting A is the one who is deciding whether B has contempted the court judgment or not. There is no third person here, right? So this is also against the principle of natural justice. These two are the major criticism of contempt of court. Now here, that's why the writer is talking about fair criticism versus contempt. The fair criticism should not be considered as the contempt, so that we protect what? Protect the principle of freedom of speech and expression. So that is the article all about. Next important article is related to the science and technology. Here what is the issue is that Honorable Prime Minister of India have gifted to the nation 3 path-breaking innovations during the ongoing Emerging Science and Technology Innovation Conclave. If you remember this, we had discussed that Emerging Science, Technology and Innovation Conclave. This we had discussed in the previous article. This is going on where the different science and technology innovations are being discussed. So one is that this next car 19 that has been declared one kind of innovation. India's first indigenous Chimeric Antigen Receptor T-cell CAR T therapy. This also, that is the CAR T, we have discussed earlier in the previous article. So what we are observing is that the many articles are being repeated. So if you are following regularly, it is a kind of a revision, and we also getting updation of our knowledge, and there is one flow also. So there is repetition of the concept. So here what is important, one fact we already know, that the next CAR 19 is India's first indigenous Chimeric antigen, that is the CAR T therapy. First, so India have developed its own. So what we have to discuss here is that CAR T, this is important for us. CAR T, what it is. So if you understand this concept of CAR T, the concept, then you will discuss the utility and what is the research very nicely. Okay, see. Suppose there is there is one human body. It's a human body, and it contains many cells. Now what happens is that sometimes there will be external or internal pathogen, you can say pathogen, or you can say certain other cell which are the cancer cell have started generating. So what happens that cancer cell, if they infected one cell, it will infect the other cell, and then it will infect the other cell. It happens, right? So what happens with cancer is that our body's immune system is there. If normal pathogen is there, our body have the immune system. That immunity defends the pathogen. But certain pathogens like the cancer cells cannot be defended by our body's immune system, natural immune system. Okay, so what is the solution of it? The scientists propose that we need to modify the cell which fight the pathogen. Okay, our antibody is not able to fight the cancer cell. It's not able to fight the cancer cell. So what scientists thought, let's modify our antibody. Let's modify it so that it can fight the cancer cell, so that it can fight the cancer cells. Okay, so that is the idea. So you're getting like what scientists are doing is that there is in our immune cells, there is one cell, a special cell called as the T cell. That's why it is called as the CAR T here, because this T cell is modified so that it can be it can fight the cancer cell. It can fight the cancer cell. Okay, so how it is modified? Using the genetic engineering. genetic engineering. So it's a modification. Okay, so what has happened is that now India has developed its own CAR-T therapy. What will be its utility? What will be utility? Utility is very high, as we discussed. Utility is very important to treat many diseases like cancers. Okay, so that's why its utility is very high. And the next article is also related to the CAR-T only, simple, same concept as you see. But here the context is that CAR-T cells are infections and disease fighting white blood cell that have been collected from your immune system. It's talking about the same concept only. I mean, it's nothing but the concept. So you understood in simple way. Simple is that it is our antibody which is not able to fight the cancer cell. So we just modify it so that it will be able to solve it. So that much if we have to remember here. Let's go to the next article. Next article is again from the Science and Technology, which is related to the gravitational wave. This is the concept. This is not a new concept. Actually, this gravitational wave concept was given by the Albert Einstein long back. However, it was not proven by Albert Einstein. Okay, so Einstein gave this theory of gravitational waves, but only in 2015 this the scientists could identify the gravitational wave in 2015 through the LIGO project. What is full form of LIGO? LIGO is Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatories. So this observatory have actually identified the gravitational wave, and for this discovery actually this scientists were given for this they have been given Nobel Prize in 2017. Okay, so this is just the background. So what we need to know here is about the gravitational waves. Let's understand in the simple terms. See, our space is, as per the Einstein, our space is made of space and time. Basically, the whole universe is made of space and time like this. It's like kind of net. So what it says is that if any large body is there, if let's say there is a large body like the black hole or the sun or celestial body, large body, which have a huge movement, or there is some kind of interaction, there is collision, there is a burst. If it happens, what happens is that there will be the creation of ripple in this space and time. So there will be the creation of rupture. Simple, what you do, yeah, you take one piece of net and like this, you took this piece of net, hold one person is holding in this point, one person is holding in this point, like this, and you made it very tight. Okay, now if a heavy ball is kept in this point, then what will happen? Suddenly if it is kept, then there will be the ripple like this generated, and they at the point where it will be kept, that ball will be kept, at that point we see a kind of rupture, a kind of depression we see, and that when this disruption, the depression is created, it generates certain kind of waves. That wave is only called as the gravitational wave. Now it is not hypothetical, it has been proven through the LIGO project. Okay, what are its properties? What are its properties of this gravitational waves? See, gravitational wave move with the speed of light. It moves with speed of light. That's the first thing. Second is that for uninterrupted, it can travel for billion of light years without any interruption also. So uninterrupted movements for many years. Third is that these are invisibles. That is also one of the point. These are invisible, and these are nothing but the ripple in the fabric of space and time. This is space-time fabric, and it creates a kind of ripple here. Okay, now let's go to the next article, that is the Project Cheetah. Project Cheetah, you must have heard about this Project Cheetah. Background is that, see, India was home of cheetah, right? Because of our climate is such that which supports the cheetah population. However, in 1952, we lost by 1952 we lost all the cheetah because of the hunting and other reason, so it became extinct in India. So as a flexive initiative, India started importing the cheetah from the other country, especially the African cheetah from Namibia, South Africa. Namibia, South Africa. We are importing cheetah from the other country, and that is the project Cheetah. Okay, so what is the objective? Why we are bringing the cheetah back? We expect that cheetah establish in Indian ecosystem, and they act as the function. They play a functional role as top predator. Top predator. As we know, in the food chain, every species have its significance. Even the top predators also. They maintain the population of the prey on the check. So the natural habitat, the kind of habitat which has been identified for the cheetah is the Kuno National Park. Kuno National Park is in Madhya Pradesh. Along with the Kuno National Park, Gandhinagar Wildlife Sanctuary again it is in Madhya Pradesh, has been considered as the second home for the cheetah. However, as the population of the cheetah will increase in India due to the breeding and due to the birth of the new cheetah, new places has been under the search, like the Nauradhi Wildlife Sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh. There is Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve also in Rajasthan. Those are also being explored in order to shift the cheetah to those places. So this was the article related to Project Cheetah. Next is special economic zone. Next concept is special economic zone. See, what is the context? Government panel is currently working on new special economic zone norms to boost manufacturing. That is the context. Let's understand about the SEZ, background and everything. From the term you can understand here that these are the special economic zone. This is a kind of within a country. Let's say this is our country. So in a country, as you know, that there are a lot of laws, lot of regulation. Suppose within this there is Andhra Pradesh, and with this and here you have Telangana, here Hyderabad. Let's say in Hyderabad. So in Hyderabad, let's say one company wants to establish certain business. So they have to follow certain regulation of municipal corporation, regulation of the state government, central government. So many regulations are there. So this kind of regulation actually restricts the manufacturing and the service businesses, right? So what the government says that within this state there will be one area will be designated as the special economic zone, and here the law of the country will not be applicable, or applicable with certain modification, or less stringent application of the law will be there, so that in that particular area more manufacturing and the services can take place, and more exports and the more employment can be generated. These are called as the special economic zone. Okay, these are being considered as the what you can say that the deemed to be the foreign territory. So that is about the special economic zone. However, special economic zones are facing certain problem with respect to its viability, functioning, and many regulatory hurdles. So to reform that particular thing, only a panel has given certain recommendation, and that is the context now. What are the salient feature of SEZ? See, SEZ are considered as the duty-free area. That means here duties are not applied, or applied at very low level. Second, no license requirement for import. For import, license requirement is not there. Third, manufacturing as well as the services, both activities are allowed. Fourth, net foreign exchange. That means they should have the more export than the import. That means more dollars should come to the country than the flowing out of the country. So that way they maintain the net foreign exchange, right? So these are the certain feature. For the reform, there is already one committee called as the Baba Kalyani Committee. What is Baba Kalyani Committee? Baba Kalyani Committee said that let's move away from just export oriented SEZ to EEE type of SEZ. EE type means employment, economic and export enclaves, basically. Employment and economic enclaves. So make it broad objectives, not just the export, but the SEZ should be having the broad goals, right? Broad objectives. So that is the recommendation of Baba Kalyani, the key recommendation. Along with it, it has also talked about the integrated online platform, enhancing the competitiveness. These are also the recommendation of Baba Kalyani committee, which is related to the special economic zone. Thank you so much for today's discussion.